Welcome, everybody, to the Loud and Drunk Podcast. This is Dan, and it's Thanksgiving. Hopefully, we won't actually post this on Thanksgiving because I don't think anybody's going to actually listen to it on Thanksgiving.
No.
Unless you're driving somewhere, that's a big thing on Thanksgiving.
You know what?
That's a tradition of mine is to listen to this podcast on Thanksgiving.
This is the first time we've done this podcast on Thanksgiving.
Traditions start from somewhere, Dan.
Well, actually, to be fair, this podcast kind of really did start with the Thanksgiving movie, but we'll get more into that.
Yeah.
That turkey.
Yeah, that turkey. Justin, sir.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, one and all. Thanksgiving's such an interesting holiday. It's one of those holidays that, like, I don't care for the impetus of it, but I love that it exists.
Moses.
I love eating, and any excuse that I can gorge myself and not be thought of as a fat ass, I don't do that on Thanksgiving. I love.
Antonio Margaretti, and very happy to be here. I love killing birds, and it's just delightful to be on the podcast today.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. We got a guy who hates birds.
We have a guy that has an accent.
Good luck keeping that up.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck keeping that up. And also, good luck to our sponsor,
Yes.
The Underground.
Yes.
Look at them.
Located in historic Smithville Village on the way to Atlantic City is Jersey's coolest proprietor of rock and roll and punk rock apparel, horror merch, posters, accessories, and more. You can find them online at theoriginalunderground.com. The Underground, it's a bad store for bad people.
That is exit 48.
Thank you.
I was just there, and they were kicking everything in there.
It's funny that you say it at the same time.
Kicking quaint.
Quaint in the taint. Quaint in the taint.
There you go.
I hear this.
I'd also like to take this time to encourage you to subscribe to this podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you are on YouTube and Rumble, smash that like button, leave us a comment, share this video with your friends, and get in on the conversation by joining us on social media at Loud and Drunk on Elon Musk's X,
Wait, what? Is that what it's called?
Zuckerberg's Facebook and Instagram, and the CCP's TikTok.
I hear these things. It's wonderful to hear.
CCP.
Wonderful to hear. Very good.
You down with CCP? Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, they will not be down with you, though.
No.
Oh, I don't know. I think we could get along. I don't even know what the fuck it stands for.
Chinese People's
Communist
Party.
Republic, yeah.
Ah, well, isn't that neat?
I was very close. Very close.
No, I like TikTok too.
Guys, it is Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving.
We have a lot to be thankful for.
Thanksgiving gets a lot of shit these days. It's getting, overshadowed by Black Friday of all things because people want to go out and buy,
consumerism.
yeah.
Nobody likes the blacks to get a leg up.
What?
Wow.
Isn't that what?
We're only 2 minutes into this podcast right now, Moses.
I think they deserve a fucking
That has nothing to do with
acknowledgement.
that. Moving on.
And that's when you go steal.
But everyone and their mother these days seems to think that Thanksgiving is just that time where you have to hear the nonsensical ravings of your right-wing uncle. And I'm here to tell you that's not the fucking case.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to hear the nonsensical ravings of your right-wing uncle, you're also going to hear it on Christmas and Easter, too. So why is Thanksgiving the only one that's catching shit?
That's the only
of
time
year?
that people come together is Thanksgiving.
That's the only time?
Yeah, the rest of the time it's just like, yeah, we're here and there.
Wow.
Oh, Moses, you are a treasure.
I'm so very confused.
So, aren't we all? Aren't the listeners at this moment? If they're still here. So, the question that I wanted to pose to all of you, Moses, if you can answer this question at this point, is Thanksgiving underrated? Justin, kick us off because Moses, I don't think, could...
Yeah, let him
best
collect his
test.
thoughts for a second. So, Thanksgiving is one of those holidays where it's like the impetus of it, we all know it's bullshit. And that's fine. We can accept it as such. But I like Thanksgiving. I actually really do. I actually dislike most holidays, but Thanksgiving's a good one for me because it's literally just a day to be like so slovenly disgusting. It's just a day of excess. And also, I mean, yeah, the trope about like running into... your maybe extended family that you don't interact with so much. But for me, that's kind of a blessing because my family's weird as fuck. And I want to hear the dumb shit they have to say. It brings a smile to my face. I got my uncle who comes over who hoards AK-47s. He always gives me some silver, so that's good, and that's really benefiting my future, according to him. But, it's fun. It's fun. I love it. Truly love it.
Moses.
I enjoy Thanksgiving because I love eating. That is a proponent of my existence, is just to eat something new.
This word, I do not think that it means what you think it means.
What, eating?
Proponent.
Oh, that's why I live. Yeah, that's what gets me going.
So is Thanksgiving underrated then?
I think it's underrated.
You don't think it's underrated?
I do think it's underrated.
Oh, you do think it's underrated?
I think people should enjoy this holiday a hell of a lot more because, like, you can eat on all of these things. I know that, like, 4th of July has their hot dog thing, and Christmas is, well, that gets overshadowed by gifts. But Thanksgiving, there's no gifts being given. It's just the gift of indulgence and really sloth, and I'm about that.
Okay. Antonio.
It is a celebration of the massacre of the indigenous people of this country, and I find it to be delightful.
That wasn't the question. God, is it underrated?
No, not at all.
If I can fill some dead space with an addendum. So I guess I maybe underrated it when I was a young asshole in my 20s because there's that thing where everybody comes home from college that Wednesday night before and you drink to excess.
Yeah.
You hook up with ex-girlfriends you shouldn't hook up with, and all that dumb shit happens. I think I underrated it then because I would literally fall asleep sitting up at the dinner table, which would be a major point of concern for my family members. But now as an adult, I fucking appreciate the shit out of that stuff, man. I don't go out on Wednesday night anymore because I'd rather kill myself.
Yeah, that's one of the worst days to go to the bar.
Oh, 100%.
For that very same reason. You're just running into all the people that are flocking back to the...
Have a shot.
Yeah. Though that is pretty terrible because then you have to go see all these people that you've disassociated from long ago. And this is the one day of year that you have to see them and be like, yeah, there's a reason I left you.
It's the one day you know you're going to see them. It's the one day that you go to your local watering hole and have to wait 25 minutes for a drink.
Well, that's a big problem with just bars in general, even if you're not from the area. Like on the Thanksgiving Eve, you have to wait for a drink, and that is terrible.
Yeah,
no person should go through that.
And the problem is, those people, like, it's generational. Now I'm an old man. Now I'd rather just smack the shit out of every one of these fucking kids I see there. And I was one of those kids. I get it.
Yeah, it's not a holiday you want to catch a charge for.
No.
Yeah. Where'd you spend Thanksgiving? Oh, in a prison cell.
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be kind of a relief than going to the actual table the next day.
See, and that's the problem that I'm going to associate with this because everyone has a problem. Oh, I got to deal with my family. You deal with them on fucking Christmas. You deal with them on Easter or whenever you meet up.
Yeah.
Like 4th of July, Memorial Day, whenever it is. This shouldn't come to a shock to you that maybe your uncle has some right-wing ideology. That maybe your niece is kind of a left-wing twat. Like, it's not a fucking surprise. And yet every single year we have to have like a sit down on one of those morning shows.
Right.
Where it's just like, Thanksgiving. That's that time of year where we have to hear all these right-wing conspiracy theories on the...
But at the same point, it always does come down to like a Ricky Lake or
a Ricky Lake?
Like a Jerry Springer show, because that's
dead.
what really. I don't give a fuck if he's dead. He had a show, and that's what it comes down to. Like the dais of a fucking Ricky Lake or a fucking Jerry Springer show. That's what usually these meals come down to, and it's weird that they don't come down to that on like Christmas or some other holiday.
Don't they?
That's where I'm going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
They do. They just don't mention it. It's not a
get it out.
mainstream media thing to say like, oh, on Christmas you got to hear from your fucking idiotic family.
Because of Thanksgiving, that's like a precursor. It's like a dry
is the
run.
warm up for it, huh?
It's a dry run. Thanksgiving is a dry run for Christmas to let you know whether I want to fucking be around my family again. And you already know you don't. Like, I feel like that's just inherent, but
It is treated very much as a trope.
but it's a dry run of what Christmas is going to be, and all the holidays.
They never mention this shit for Christmas. They
No.
never once say, like, oh, you got to deal with your crazy right-wing uncle on Christmas. They never fucking mention it. All the time. Every single year.
I feel like-
they all got their marching orders, start talking about it
I
like
feel
on
like we get
Thanksgiving.
to like Thanksgiving, and then there's like a BuzzFeed article about
Yeah.
how to deal with your blah 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 fucking uncle or whatever the fucking case it may be.
All right. Well, 2 points. Fuck BuzzFeed. And 2, yes, they have talked about this because of Christmas Vacation, the Chevy Chase Christmas movie.
He was just a slob. He wasn't a crazy right-wing guy.
I mean, what's the difference?
Oh, Moses.
I actually like Thanksgiving is like I look forward to that fucking holiday.
I do because I could gorge myself on food and not be judged debatably.
I look forward to it because not only do I enjoy eating turkey legs, first of all, like I gotta profess my love for turkey legs. I'm always the guy who's like, is anybody gonna eat both of those?
I will go against you on this, but I'll take my time to wait for my place to speak on it.
And then, like, you always got the sides, too, like stuffing, mashed potatoes, what have you. But then also, too, like, I'm a sports fan. So you got football. You're guaranteed you're going to have the Cowboys. So maybe that'll be a good game. The Lions are actually good this year, so maybe that'll probably be a good game, too. But most of the time, the Lions aren't good.
No.
So, like, one of those games is shit. And I'm like, I guess I'll go now.
I don't know much about sports, but I know
you only know the
the
90s
Lions
Bulls.
are never. Yeah, I only know the '90s Bulls, and that's basketball. So that isn't coming into play. Isn't it always the same 2 teams playing on Thanksgiving? And it's always the Lions, and the Lions, like, are they ever good?
Well, they're good this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the Cowboys are good as well, so...
But isn't it always like Washington and?
It's not always
No.
Washington.
Oh, it's not? I thought it always was.
It's always Detroit, the Detroit Lions, and it's always the Dallas Cowboys. And now they
Okay.
also have a primetime game, and that's usually different as well. I remember stuff like when I was, going to my grandma's for Thanksgiving. I'm a softie. So my younger cousins would treat me like a jungle gym. And I'm just trying to watch the Dolphins play the Cowboys. Like, I'm literally like, she's treating me like a table. Like, she's like sitting on my shoulders, and she's got her like a little dish with her Thanksgiving meal on top of my head.
Oh.
And I'm like, I wonder why I have neck problems.
Are you sure they're not just cats?
No,
'Cause I deal with that every day.
This was a little girl. And she's just eating her meal, and I'm like, this is fine, just as long as I can watch this Dolphins-Cowboys game.
I mean, I have fond memories, especially like my childhood. We used to go to my aunt's house, and like they're not married, but like, we call him my uncle. He's like one of 14 kids. He's Irish as fuck. So they would have a massive Thanksgiving, literally 100-something people, and he would custom build this table.
Who's cooking for that? Jesus, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of fucking people. And I don't know who was cooking because I was young and I wasn't paying attention. They had Sega Genesis. That's all I gave a fuck about.
Sega!
Yeah.
Everybody loves Sonic.
Yeah. But it would start, you would get there, you'd play football in the front yard. That was like tradition. You played football, and then, get inside, blah, blah, blah. And then we're playing Sega Genesis. And then somebody gets too drunk because they're Irish. And then they're fighting. And then I learned that I'm allergic to shrimp because I ate some shrimp. And now we're going to the hospital. And, that's what Thanksgiving's all about.
So your Thanksgiving is not unkin to mine. All right, all right.
Antonio,
I thought that was just me.
what kind of Thanksgiving traditions do you have?
Very different from me because we used to spend it in the summers in Rangoon, deep in the forests of what you call Thailand. Used to be called Burma.
What do you call it? Oh, okay.
Burma. Burma is what we used to call it. It was beautiful there. Long summers, beautiful. We would eat all sorts of pheasant. It went on for days. But ever
Wait,
since...
do you have Thanksgiving in Burma?
Yes, we do. It's a celebration of the destruction of the people who used to live there. I believe this is the same for you.
Kind of. You know what? You're not wrong.
Yes.
It's
And,
just a different perspective.
Is it on the same day?
It's a different perspective.
By coincidence, yes, I think that it is. It's the last Thursday in November. What on earth? You're not wrong.
Can I air a grievance right quick?
Absolutely.
Whatever it is, it will
Yes.
not be heard.
Yes. No, we'll hear
Canada
it.
has a Thanksgiving. Fuck you, posers.
Yeah, fuck
They only
Canada.
copy us. It's very insulting.
What do you mean? What do you mean us? I thought you were from Burma.
Yeah, you're from Burma.
Well, I'm an American now. I've lived here for
Oh,
many
yeah.
years. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, through and through.
I'll accept it.
Yes.
Canada and their stupid
Yeah,
weird
fuck
cop.
But fuck Canada.
Yeah.
Bunch of copycats.
Or like, oh, let's beg and plead. Like, oh, hey, can we please be independent? What do you have to be thankful
Right,
for?
right.
You don't even have spines.
You got like 3 countries that are ruining you.
In fairness, I will chime in right here. I think that as my accent drifts between different things,
It's a Dracula.
As it is
I
wont to
think,
drift.
I think that we should not say anything bad about Canada right now because they are America's hat.
Is that your only reason?
If we did not have this hat, then it would be very cold right here.
Yeah, he's right.
And then
he's
we
right.
would not have Thanksgiving because it would be freezing.
Finish the line,
Oh,
Moses.
no,
He's out of line, but he's right.
He's out of line, but he's right. But yeah, they are. Canada is our hat.
Thank you, Moses.
That's factually true.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but where do you get off? You only got 33 million people. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And most of you is like unattainable fucking land. Like maybe we can mine it or fucking get oil out of it. But
Well, that's the point. We can mine it, but
Well,
they
we
can't.
can't- yeah, well,
because
this-
we are Americans now.
oh, see, this guy has embraced the culpability.
I love being an American.
Yeah, no, you're
Going into a French thing now.
I love to own land.
Yeah, you're getting really Canadian real quick. You're getting real Canadian.
I'm just waiting for Miami Vice #1 new show.
It is very good, yes. I love being American, though. It is the #1 thing.
What was your name again? I am sorry. I missed it.
Antonio Margaretti.
Antonio, can you tell us about the anaconda that we're hunting?
Oh, my goodness. It is the biggest anaconda that you've ever seen in your entire life. It goes on for
You
days.
didn't hear that?
Let me tell you. I don't want to sidetrack the podcast while we're doing the thing, but my God.
I can listen
You
to you all
don't
day.
want to sideswipe the podcast, but yet you're doing it.
Go ahead, Ben. I apologize.
It's a romantic language, Dan.
This
Like, that's how he
anaconda,
speaks.
though, I just want to tell you, it could be anywhere. It could be right here with us right now.
It's in the studio.
It is in the studio.
Well, it's too bad this isn't a visual medium because then they can see an anaconda eat us
Is
alive.
this not
true.
visual?
because
Actively
I
rooting
did
for it.
bring the anaconda here. It is here right now. He's
Dan,
not joking.
are you sure this isn't visual? Because I could see everything here.
You are so frustrating.
All right, do any of you guys
Is
have
this
like?
man lucid
Oh
for the
my
podcast?
god!
Not at all.
He's not. Justin.
Do any of you guys have like split Thanksgiving duties? Do you have to go like multiple places?
Kinda.
Kinda.
I like somebody who actually has to.
I tend to try to do that. Obviously, being single, it's not due to any kind of relationship
Oh, right,
responsibilities.
yeah.
But I have family up in North Jersey. I have family in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I obviously have family that's local. And
Sounds like a trip.
and I try to at least accommodate as many people as possible. Every year I try to ask my mom, what are you doing? Because I
Yeah.
don't want her to be alone on Thanksgiving. She's giving me the not quite Jewish guilt, but very seems like it's Jewish guilt.
No, it's just general, like,
Mother's guilt.
yeah, it's just what it is. And I
I
get
just
that.
want you to have a good time on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
I just want you to be
no.
happy.
Go up and see
Whatever makes you happy, you do.
Go up and see your other family. It's fine.
I'll be here. I'm fine by myself. That's fine.
And so
I'm gonna dig a hole maybe about 6 feet deep, and I'll just see you whenever you
Antonio,
have
your
time.
accents are
Whenever
fucking
you have
spot
time,
on.
you're just going all over the place.
I'm a
You're
different
kayfabe.
person.
Kayfabe in this episode is just.
Are we gonna hug and kiss after this? Just to show the
hope so.
ridiculousness.
Not a chance.
So I end up like last year. I drove up north, see my family up there for a bit.
That's
And
a
then-
lot already.
And then I circle right back, and it sucks too because I'm like I'm trying to get up there and like spend time with them,
Right.
But also like you're getting text messages being like, "Oh, dinner's at this time."
Yep.
We're like,
Yeah,
well,
you
I
want
have
to
a
do the
time
right
limit.
thing, but
Yeah.
you want to split 3 dinners over the course of a day.
Well-
and it's like, I like to eat a lot, but like that's a hard task.
One of the best Thanksgivings was when I managed to somehow stretch it throughout an entire weekend. I am not
Oh,
fucking
shit.
Oh,
kidding.
that's interesting.
I
yeah,
I
should
can't
tell this story.
I can't remember quite what the order was, but I believe I spent Thanksgiving proper at my dad's, and then came back down to this area, and it was like we had a friend's Thanksgiving on that Friday, on Black Friday, and then the next day on Saturday, my mom's like, "Well, we'll just have Thanksgiving on Saturday," and I'm like, "I'm gonna have 3 straight Thanksgiving meals. This is amazing."
How did you
like-
survive?
that is great.
I could eat. This is one of the things that Thanksgiving gets shit for. It's like, oh, you would never eat a Thanksgiving meal on any day that isn't Thanksgiving. I'm like, I absolutely fucking would.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, have you seen me any other day of the week?
Yeah. If you're offering me turkey legs, I'm going to ask who you want me to murder.
I thought it was raviolis to get you to kill someone, but all right.
I can get that myself. I'm not making myself a turkey. That seems too complicated.
Well, it's really not.
I'm going to say something kind of sacrilegious here when it comes to Thanksgiving. I don't like turkey, and I don't like spiral ham.
I could see that. I'm not a big fan of spiral ham myself, but...
All right, in my family, obviously, they do a turkey. Traditional.
Yeah.
My brother really loves spiral ham, so my mom will also do a spiral ham. I don't like either of these options. So I end up usually buying like a big fucking roast, like beef roast, and I'll do like a big beef roast too.
Do you cook it, or
I
does
do.
your mother cook it?
No, I cook
like,
it.
Just because, like, in the tradition of Thanksgiving, the matriarch would be more or less cooking it.
I'll as my contribution, I'll get like a nice like prime rib, and then I'll do that.
Jeez,
All right.
you're
Antonio, I'm not coming to your house. I'm going over to Justin. Sorry, he's got the better fucking.
You will not
He's
be
got
missed.
the better meal. He's got the better meal.
Now.
You're Russian. Your kayfabe is all over the place in this episode.
It's difficult to tell.
I thought it was always Russian. There's just like lower Russian and upper Russian.
Now it's going to veer slightly towards Dracula from here.
Oh,
I vote to suck your blood.
well, we're giving thanks, aren't we?
One Thanksgiving meal. Two Thanksgiving meals.
Oh my God, this should be canceled.
That'll be the name of the episode.
But all right, so let's get into this real quick. What's like your favorite thing, like food-wise, Thanksgiving that you like super look forward to that you typically wouldn't maybe get any other time in the year?
I'll jump on this real quick.
Yeah.
It depends on where I am. If I'm at my dad's, stuffing.
Okay.
If I'm at mom's, the mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Those, like,
Is it because they just make like? Because I imagine both places have those things.
Yes,
But they
but-
had your father's. The stuffing is better than your mother's, but
I wouldn't say that it's better, but he makes it with like I think there's a little bit of like ground beef in there.
it sounds like it's better.
It adds a little bit more to it. My mom really knows how to make the mashed potatoes and make them well. That's where I kind of tried to learn it from, although terribly.
Yeah,
although your brother thinks I make them really well. I made it once, Ed.
He is a human dumpster.
I've met his brother, and yes, he is. He is a human dumpster.
I made mashed potatoes once for the friend's Thanksgiving thing, and he still will mention to me every once in a while. It's just like, oh yeah, those mashed potatoes were really good. I'm like, that was like 15 years ago.
I
man.
literally got them out of the trash.
This reminds me, like, it has really nothing to do with Thanksgiving, but I made pork belly, and I did it in an air fryer. And from my coworker and the mail lady, she was chewing gum, didn't take it out, but she ate it, and she was like,
She also had no eyes and no ears and had lost the ability
all
to
ass,
taste
but all
for more
ass.
than 20 years.
I think she was like, oh, this is pretty. I'm like, I think I might have that pork belly down.
Yeah.
I don't know another time I'm going to get
I'm
this
proud
out,
of you,
but
buddy. I'm proud of you.
I think I might have it.
Well, while you have the floor, what's the favorite?
There's two things that I enjoy, and it's mashed potatoes of a sort, but it's sweet potatoes. You have to have, like, when you go for the scoop, you have to have that bit of crust on top that is brown sugar and marshmallow.
Oh, that style. Yeah.
That, like, really made, like, the rest of it's fine, but, like, you need that extra. And I love, like, a green bean casserole.
I fucking hate sweet potatoes, but I can go for a green bean casserole.
I love a green bean casserole, and I don't
know
think
what
that's
the fuck a green bean casserole is.
Neither do I, to be honest with you.
I've had the green
sounds
bean casserole
disgusting.
before at my aunt's.
It comes and goes on how well it's
yeah.
made, but like I've had some good, I've had some bad, and they're all at the same place, year after year. But like I do enjoy my greens, and the green bean casserole is as close to a salad as I'm getting.
All right.
Wow.
Well, you're good. That was the end of your story.
I'm very stern on
All right.
things.
I shudder to bring this conversation back to your end, but it is your turn to speak. What do you enjoy about Thanksgiving, Antonio?
Then I'm going to do this in an American accent to make this much more clear for
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, he's so good.
He's almost natural.
I will do my best.
Okay.
You're good.
Clear my throat here.
You sound good and everything.
Thank you, Miss Perez.
Now that's going to be part of the lounge run drinking game. Every time we make the Rosie Perez joke.
There should be more of them.
I don't care for Thanksgiving food for the most part. I think that it's deplorable. However, what I will say is that my favorite part of the holiday is that I'm sorry, am I offending you?
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, you can wait until I'm done at least to be
continue
offended. My favorite part of it is that my Thanksgiving holiday tradition is that my mother and sister prepare a meal which is inedible. I think that's the correct word for myself and my older brother. I don't know exactly how this began. I think that it was with a hot sauce that our father would eat.
Predator sauce?
It was the Predator sauce.
Oh, that's hot.
And we found our way into a debacle in which my mother and sister, who are far smarter than myself and my older brother, they prepare some sort of a thing that we have to consume. So you could call it a dish in that sense, because it is part of the meal.
Well, they prepared it.
They prepare it. It's a part of the meal. And,
was it prepared with love?
Yes, I would say that it is.
Then that's the only flavor.
Love
you
or
need.
hatred, but I mean, honestly, they're mirrors of themselves.
Yes,
love
exactly.
or resentment. Anyways, the gist of it is that it's not part of the meal that I look forward to, but it's definitely a part of the meal that I anticipate. and so myself, and I believe I speak for my brother as well, we go into it knowing that this is a dish that we will have. I think that some people can probably find like a parable with this. And
You're
so
reaching.
Eventually, we sit down and we get to partake in whatever it may happen to be. And you never know what it might be. It could be something that's just extremely spicy to the point that it's, completely something that you can't consume at all. Likewise, there was years where we had, there was pig jowls. That was a thing.
Doesn't sound bad.
Pickled pig jowls. We had 1,000-year-old eggs. And Justin, I know that you know what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
The
a
gist of
story
it
for
is-
another time. But
That's
yes.
true. Yeah. The gist of it is that the point of the meal, and it's honestly, it's there's an antithesis here with I guess what everybody else is describing, and that the whole point of what my sister and my mother put forth is that you're not supposed to enjoy this part. It's meant to be painful for you. And they get to revel in it, which is delightful for them. I've reflected upon that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll talk to a therapist one day about it. But for myself and my brother,
they'll tell you what therapist to go to.
we have this deep understanding of Thanksgiving in this way, where it's a harsh reckoning of what your choices really are. Because really what the game is all about is your lessons that you've learned over the course of the year. Because you've had a whole year since the last one, when you did this exact same thing. And for myself and my brother, it's really a lesson of, are you going to engage in this challenge just because you were challenged?
Well, you can't be a bitch.
Yeah, it's a pride thing
be a
that
bitch,
it's not really a question is.
And in many
of
ways,
if
I
you're
think that
gonna.
Thanksgiving is a lot about that. It's that, we go there because it's a thing that we're supposed to do. It's a thing that we all are supposed to do. You're supposed to do these things, supposed to enjoy this time with your family and what have you. But not every part of it is enjoyable. But you do it anyway because it's what you think you're supposed to do.
That's what family is.
And the food challenge for myself and my brother is kind of like, it's a manifestation of that. It's this thing that you want to do. You do enjoy it. But there's a part of you that doesn't enjoy every part. And
No.
yet, there's a revelry in the sacrifice that you make. You somehow walk away from it thinking that you've done something for you and maybe for the people that you care about. But in reality, you've only harmed yourself and those that you care about.
There was a time years ago where, when we all lived closer to each other, that, we would meet up at the bar afterwards when the local bar would be open on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it still is. I don't live close to you guys anymore.
Well, that one should still be.
Maybe. But, and that's what I loved. I loved hearing about your sordid food challenges.
No, he's right. Yeah, that is a great, because it's like, what did you eat this time? I remember there was one that was goat brains out of a can.
That was gross.
Because
In
goat
milk.
brains could be good.
In milk. In milk.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. Goat brains in milk.
Was it was heated or no?
No, it was.
Oh, it was
room
just right out of the
temperature.
can?
Yeah.
Because it's just like eating Jell-O, honestly, in my mind.
Wish that it was like eating.
I know. I'm sure it didn't taste like that, but it was those kind of things. I'm I envy in a sense because I don't have that kind of family that you have. But I love
that tortures
hearing,
you with food.
Well, they torture me with food, but it's just oh, here's more spinach. Somebody likes that. It's I fucking love spinach. You can piss on that. I'll fucking eat it.
Oh, so here's a question. question I have for you, Moses. You come from a family that is very like Italian food-esque. Did you guys have a lot of Italian food for like Thanksgiving?
We would always have a turkey and a ham.
Yeah.
Like a turkey and a ham in the ways that you're thinking.
Yeah.
And then we would also have like a lasagna.
Uh-huh.
At least one tray.
These are
of
all
that.
Italian stereotypes, by the way.
And then, well, I'm not done. We would also have manigat.
Uh-huh.
We would also have baked ziti. Mm-hmm. And then we would have the sides.
Right.
And like every goddamn side. like any side that you could think of in any respect of living that you fucking identify with. Like there would be like a casserole. There would also be like just a regular of it. Like there's a green bean casserole. There's also green beans. And there's also this green bean casserole that's not a casserole.
Right.
But it's because it's presented differently. And it's the same goddamn dish that I'm eating over here. And then there's just, and then it's always so fucking weird to me with this, and maybe this is an Italian thing, that there's just a bowl of corn. Just corn with butter.
We
And
have
it's just
that
like,
at my table,
and it's just
too.
like fucking there. And it's like, you got all this other absurd fucking concoctions of things. And I was just like, oh, corn.
Oh,
Like, this is how you're into that. Corn.
let me interject
It's
it
like,
real
what
quick.
the fuck?
So
And I have a distrust of corn.
I have to make a dish every year because my sister loves it. It's a dish I won't eat. I make creamed corn every year.
See, I've never had cream
I don't
corn.
even. Yeah, I really don't know what it is. Like I know that it.
I get
exists,
the idea behind it, but
It's literally
I've never had it.
corn with cream cheese,
Oh, that's disgusting.
salt, pepper, and butter, and then you cook it in like a, what do you call it, like a crock pot.
Oh, that's
weird.
making it worse.
To change the conversation, I actually have a serious question. What the fuck is Thanksgiving about?
I don't really know. Like, I know what I'm supposed to be. Like, I know
get
what
we're
I was
supposed to be
taught.
thankful, but,
I
like-
know what I was taught about. It's like, oh, when we came over on the Mayflower. Like, this is a brief history with Moses.
Yeah.
But like we came over on the Mayflower and there's the Santa Maria and whatever. But and then
And we're off to a blazing start.
Yeah.
and then we took
Honestly, he's doing 2 out of 3 right now.
and then we took their land and we're like, oh no,
Whose
they were-
land?
The indigenous people.
Oh, all right.
And they were like, yeah, that's cool. I don't believe that at all. But because we gave them so many booze in casinos. And then we're like, oh no, they were like, oh, you guys are suffering because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You just came over here to worship whatever nonsense you want to worship.
Okay.
And we're thankful for the fact that the indigenous folks of what we now call North America, or America, I guess.
North America, you were actually.
Yeah, well, North America. I don't know if this happened in Canada.
This happened here.
Well, I know. Well, North America also includes
Just go
Canada
on. Just
and
go on.
Mexico. And I know Mexico is like
Sorry,
fuck
yeah,
this.
sorry, we're parsing. Just continue your story, please.
And that's why we give thanks to those that were giving to us. And
So
what
you're
we
saying
took.
that Thanksgiving is about giving thanks to indigenous people?
It's just trying to pretend that we didn't do any wrong.
That's all right. You know what? That's a half answer at least.
It's half right too.
Yeah. I don't actually have a better answer.
It's honestly.
Well, I mean, look, yeah,
This one I got.
he's more or less absolutely correct. I can't remember when exactly Thanksgiving was made a holiday, but
It was
like,
right around the Civil War. 'Cause I think Lincoln did it.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Was it that early? I thought it
think
was.
so. I believe so.
I thought
believe
it
around
was
that
done in
time.
like World War I or II.
No, it was Lincoln. I'm pretty sure it was Lincoln.
All right.
But yeah, it's just one of those holidays.
It's kind of
where
a garbage holiday.
It's it's the whole myth of like everybody was hunky dory.
Honestly, I would like to retract that. I want to say
Lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
when Mr. Hallmark came over here, he's like, "Hey, this is a good place to make money. Let's sell cards." And that's when
Thanksgiving Day cards.
Is that
you never got one?
No.
Oh, I got
He
better
sent them
family.
to everyone else, Justin.
Oh,
Sorry.
I feel left out.
I'll send you one this year. Actually, you know what? Cross that.
You know what?
Next
It's in the
year.
mail. Let me just check my car.
Yeah, you know how the mail works. It comes or goes.
I've heard tell of the stories of the mail, yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's
President Abraham Lincoln declared it an official holiday on November
was him.
26, 1863.
yeah.
Oh, no wonder he got shot.
Okay.
Jeez.
saying.
Wow.
It's a garbage holiday.
It is one of those holidays that, it's
a garbage.
Like I said up front, like, we all kind of know it's bunk, but, like, I still appreciate it.
I
enjoy that it's a
I
holiday.
do appreciate it more than I appreciate like fucking Christmas or fucking Easter. Mm-hmm. Especially Easter.
Well, Easter is a celebration of Jesus coming back, so you should obviously appreciate that.
that's fucking
Jesus
ridiculous.
Too, electric savior.
Hey,
So
I've never heard that. Goddamn, that is brilliant.
I'm going to jump in here and actually defend Thanksgiving because if
Nah.
you get rid of all the fucking backstory to it, I think there's something that you can really subscribe yourself to in terms of just taking a day to be grateful for what you have.
Is that not Veterans Day?
No, that's not Veterans Day, you fucking chucklehead.
No.
Wow, that's coming from
He's baiting you, Dan. He's baiting you.
no wonder.
It's quite simply that. It's just a day to reflect on your life. Am I better off this year than I was last year? Are things going all right? You know, my dad always used to tell me any day on this side of the grass is a good day.
Yeah.
So you should be even grateful for that.
Yeah. And
Are we doing a podcast as Moses currently asleep during the podcast?
He's not wrong.
Be grateful for that.
Be grateful one day out of the year for what you have.
Why not be grateful every day of the year?
And when you think about, am I better off today than I was this same day last year? You look in the eyes of Joe Biden and you say, yes. Yes. Yes, I am.
I've seen it once before in a president. I've seen it now in Joe Biden.
I'm sorry. I'm going to quote Joe Biden here and be like,
I think he's sleeping. Yeah, for the audience, he is sleeping right now.
But no, like, yeah, if you get rid of all of that, because if you know, they made an official holiday, like in 1863.
there's no reason not to take advantage of
So
it.
it's just be thankful that you have the day off.
Oh, for sure.
You should be super fucking thankful if you have the next day off, like if you have a 4-day fucking weekend.
For the first time ever, I will this year.
I feel like we should be bitching at fucking Ford.
Henry Ford?
Yeah.
And
Why?
Because he's the one that installed that fucking 5-day work week.
Oh, okay.
what?
Not that. Why did you bring that up on the Labor Day fucking? God damn you, Moses! You don't even know what holidays are.
No, I don't care. Holidays are
He has
stupid.
a tenuous grasp on what days are.
I'm not good with time. No, I am not.
You're not good with time. What are you good at?
Oh, drugs.
Yes. So as Moses does,
No.
whatever the fuck, Euphoria, the fake drug from 90210.
It's heroin, and it's the fake drug from Minority Report.
Great. I
I want
want.
to talk about fake drugs. I'll go all day.
Yes, I know you will because you know fake drugs, real drugs, drugs that haven't been made yet somehow.
They're here, but like you don't get
But what I wanted to do before you tried to start this conversation about drugs is Thanksgiving usually gets overshadowed by Black Friday, but also Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is just like all over the place from, July 5th and on. Christmas is known for having a shit ton of Christmas movies.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving actually has movies. You just they don't tell you that these movies exist, and you actually know these movies because they're fucking funny.
Yeah.
At least a few of them. So I would like to conclude this podcast with us giving some appreciation for these Thanksgiving movies, and I think the best one to start off with is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It's so good.
That is a great movie.
So good.
That is a great movie.
And if somehow you have not seen this movie, you have to seek it out immediately. It is classic.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, like, what are you doing with your life?
I like how you just turned it right around on the audience.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Well,
yeah,
sorry, like that's a classic fucking movie. Like Justin is right. Like that is a great fucking movie.
I'm just saying, like, if you haven't, check it out. It's fantastic.
Steve Martin,
Yeah.
John Candy,
Yep.
trying to get home for Thanksgiving. Actually, there's a little cameo with Kevin Bacon in it too, so you don't even need to do
is he
this.
in
Yeah, that's right.
In the very
Because
beginning.
Kevin Bacon has been in everything.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is just
He's
one
been
degree.
in everything.
Yeah.
It's not even fair.
But it's the opening part of the movie. Steve Martin, he works as I think as an advertising company.
I think it's
something to that
some
effect.
they're
Yeah,
both
yeah,
like they're the equivalent of fucking vacuum salesmen back in the day.
Yeah. And he's trying to catch his flight to get back in the 80s, every movie took place in Chicago
Pretty
somehow.
much.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's where everything was going on.
yeah, it was like the most wholesome place to live, apparently. So he's trying to catch
Just like today.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
happens
compared
in
to New York,
Chicago.
yeah, it is.
Actually,
We'll talk about Chicago in a future episode.
Oh, we got stories for that.
Steve Martin is trying to get back to Chicago, and he's racing down the streets of Manhattan on foot to catch a taxi. Across the street is Kevin Bacon trying to catch said taxi.
Yeah.
So it's like the credits are rolling practically.
Oh, pretty
as
much.
you're
Yeah,
watching this.
it's the front roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's where he runs into John Candy for the first time.
Yeah.
Because
Sharing a cab.
Yeah. He catches, he grabs the cab that I think Steve Martin like pays off somebody grabbing a cab, and then John Candy just takes it. And from there,
because the whole shtick of the movie is that he's like in some way, without even trying, taking advantage of him.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of it too. It's like it's one of those 80s comedies that actually has some heart to it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a Seth Rogen comedy where it's all dick jokes for like 90 minutes.
It's not like the whole
It's a good comedy.
The movie is filled with jokes, but like there's this like dark background to it where you've got a key character who's absolutely basically getting fed up with the main character.
There is
and
a real darkness to it. I never thought about it in that way, but there is a real darkness to it if you broke it down.
Yeah.
And nowadays, but it's like, oh, that's how life was back then.
It does actually go full circle a little bit too, because there is a moment where they nearly destroy their car. Actually, they do destroy their car, but they somehow still are able to drive it, which is actually, it leads to another funny scene. And so they go to, they literally have no money. It all got burnt up in the fire, and they're trying to pay for the motel room. And Steve Martin's got like a fancy watch. He pays with that. And then John Candy's like, oh, I've got like, $2 and a Casio.
And a Casio.
Rubbing it on his sleeve.
It keeps the date.
So you go from a joke like that to he's literally sitting in this car. There is no roof. There are no windows. No. It's literally a burnt out car that somehow still runs. Somehow still runs.
Detroit's weird.
And so he's just sitting there like in his winter gear, like freezing. Yeah. And he's just talking to himself like, oh, you really fucking did it again. Like, you sneak these little fucking emotional moments into this movie that's really fucking good comedy.
It's nostalgic of that era.
Yeah.
Where, like, there was all the yucks in the world, but, like, there was heart in those movies.
There was,
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like you actually felt shit. It's like, oh, shit. And then there's always, like, a redemptive arc type situation or level of understanding.
That is the unfairness of how people nowadays judge those 80s comedies, where there is heart. Like, they had a lot of risque jokes, but it was okay at the time.
Yeah.
Not that it was ever okay, but like, it was fine. Like, everybody got the joke. Like, it was fine.
With Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the only joke that you could really consider risque is when they stay in the first hotel.
Yeah.
But when their plane gets delayed and they're waiting it out, they're literally full. They get the one bed, so they both have to sleep in it.
Right.
And they're used to sleeping with their wives. So there's this scene where they're literally legitimately
They have to cuddle, just to fall asleep.
And they just gradually realize they're like, why are you holding my hand? Why are you did you just kiss me on the neck?
Yeah.
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your hand right now? It's between two pillows. Those aren't pillows. And then the added level to that joke, which makes it complete, is when they're like shaking off the gayness.
Right.
They're like, oh yeah. Did you see the Bears? Bears game? Like, oh yeah, going all the way.
That was so funny. That was a great movie.
Tying in with that movie as well, because it's got a similar,
Before you go on, I want to say when they were waiting around, when John Candy was waiting around for whatever they were waiting around
towards the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's at the train
is
station.
That is a crossover of Home Alone.
It's a crossover of Home Alone? How so?
Because in Home Alone, John Candy was in there as the polka
the polka thing and the moving truck part of that,
And he was just playing along because the whole fucking movie, he was just like pretending to be all these things he's not.
Well, great. Way to tie in a Christmas movie when we're talking about Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry, it's the same time.
But also tying into that.
I love John Candy.
Very similar movie is Dutch.
Yeah.
And this one is a little less like, you probably may not have seen this movie because it was made obviously after Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think it was actually made by the same people. I can look into that real quick.
I'd be interested to know that.
But instead of like
Ed O'Neill, that is his best fucking work.
I mean, Married with Children.
I love Married with Children, and he was great in that. But like, this really shows the gamut of Ed O'Neill's acting prowess.
he's a
Because he's not granted, he's not playing anybody different, but he is playing a heartfelt person, like somebody who gives a shit. But in anything you've seen in Wayne's World or fucking Married with Children, he's kind of heartless.
He's still kind of doing,
He's kind of, but in Dutch, he's a father trying to connect with his son.
No, that's not what that is.
That's not what Dutch.
He's in Dutch. He's dating this boy's mom.
Yes.
And so what happens is the boy has like a rich father, not together with his mother anymore. It was made by John Hughes.
Oh, it was.
Both
Okay.
movies are made by John Hughes.
John Hughes did that, huh? That
So
makes sense.
the point of this movie is that
You don't have to be you don't have to be blood to be family.
Well, no, it's because he wants to spend Thanksgiving with his dad. He's like in this snooty fucking, like rich kid school or whatever,
Yeah.
and all the kids hate him because he's that level of prick.
Right.
And so, like, his mom's desperately trying to, like, come over to my place, but it's like, I'm spending it with Dad, and then Dad leaves him there high and dry.
Yes.
And Ed O'Neill's character, Dutch, is like, I'll go pick him up.
Right.
It's a good opportunity for us to bond. And he drives over there, and they literally get into a fucking fight.
Yeah.
Like, he fucking...
Honestly, it's the same thing as Over the Top.
It's not the same thing as Over the Top. You are just taking, like, half of what I'm saying and applying it to a movie.
He only hears what he wants
Well,
to hear.
in fairness,
May I chime in
in
with
fairness,
a movie?
I'm not listening to anything you're
I've
saying.
brought this movie up before,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to throw it out there, and we don't need to dwell on it. The name of the movie is Thanksgiving.
We're getting there.
Go right ahead.
It's about a murderous turkey.
And you're also leaving out that the very first thing that you see when you turn on this movie is a pair of breasts.
Yes.
That's true. The movie is filled with
get
things that
in.
you
That's so
love
you'd
to
watch
see.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie is filled with it delights your
Breasts.
senses.
It's a,
It delights your senses.
We're talking about turkeys, and what does the most popular piece of the turkey is the breast.
Thanksgiving is the story of a turkey that's had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's had enough of our draconian ways.
Pushed too far.
Yeah. Humans
Turkey
have
pushed too far.
Yeah, absolutely. We've taken it upon ourselves to just murder left and right.
It's the falling down of the turkey world.
Absolutely, and
Thank
finally,
God we have
You are
AI.
praising that movie way too much by comparing it to Falling Down.
And
Honestly, it is
Finally.
the same fucking movie.
No, it's not.
It's not
No.
the same.
It's the
Why do
same
you
movie.
think every movie is the same movie?
if I was to
Because I
compare
watched
it,
one movie.
if I was to compare it to anything, and I don't say this lightly, it would be Schindler's List. It is the story. It is the story of an oppressed people. An oppressed people who happen to be turkeys.
It seems like the turkeys are celebrated.
They are not celebrated enough, and in fact, they have paid the ultimate price
they're
through the
suffering
genocide
for the,
that they suffer every
appraisal, but-
year, right around the end of November. It's deplorable, and this is one of the very few movies that actually pays an homage to that. Thanksgiving, the story of a turkey that has said enough, and finally,
You'd think he said enough, but all he does is talk.
well,
Yes, the turkey in this movie does talk.
Does the turkey talk?
talks
Yes.
I remember it. It's a
ridiculous
terrible film,
in a
so.
ridiculous amount.
It's a bad movie.
Like it would have been
Bad
better
movie.
if he shut up.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we jumped from two movies that we were recommending, and you're like, no, it's a terrible movie.
I thought we were saving that, but all right.
Yeah.
This is actually a good inside baseball moment for this podcast because
What is
wasn't that
baseball?
supposed to be like the inside base? Jesus Christ.
But God damn it.
So when we actually were first doing this podcast,
Yeah.
it was under the guise that we were going to watch movies and we weren't going to have it
Yeah.
like the audio to be picked up, but we were going to watch it and start bullshitting. I think Thanksgiving was the first movie.
I think
I
it
think
was.
it might
I
have been.
think it
Yeah,
was.
you might be right on that. Yeah.
I don't know if that file exists anymore. But
No, it does. I
I
have
hope
it.
not.
I have it. I have it.
it
I
was
have
our
it.
first foray into this medium.
I probably have it. Good luck trying to organize all of those files because back when we were doing that, it was legitimately like 4 laptops
Right, yeah.
hooked up to mics.
Oh
that-
shit,
yeah.
that's right.
Dan- Yeah, that's when we were hacking into the
Dan
planet.
put that recording right where he put the Ark of the Covenant.
It's being handled by top men.
Top men.
Like,
Dan used to go by the name of Serial Killer.
Wow.
wow.
Is that's a hacker's reference?
That is a hacker's reference.
Wow. 1989. Hello.
There you are. Pick up your payphone and dial in.
Yeah. When that was a thing.
They're doing blue boxing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I
that.
hacked the planet. Yeah. I don't know.
I read 2600 once.
Yeah.
Why?
That's all you need.
Why?
all you need.
Why would you do that?
Because I hate myself.
I would also be remiss
Oh my God.
if I did not bring up this movie for a Thanksgiving movie, Scent of a Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Hoo-ha!
Yeah.
I only know about that movie from the critic references of it. To be completely honest, I've never seen
All
it.
right, let's get into real.
But I know all the references to it because they made fun of that movie in multiple
Constantly.
episodes.
Constant.
It is a perennial movie that has been made. But that was
It's Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Charlie,
And-
you preply little prippy.
and
I'm gonna kill myself. I mean it.
Good.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it this time.
Fine, it'll shut you up.
Ferris Bueller was in that, wasn't he? Was that Ferris Bueller?
No.
No. Are you thinking of the Chris O'Donnell character?
Oh, it's Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
I always forget about Chris O'Donnell.
You've been fucking up actors all day. Even before we started doing this recording
Whatever.
tonight, you've been fucking it up, man.
I'm sorry that I know their names, and they need to be
You don't know
recognized.
anybody's names.
The Thanksgiving connection is a little loose. It is
It
around.
is-
It
it
is
is
loose
loose, right?
on that.
It's looser.
That's a loosey goosey, but
But it's also a good movie. Like
it is a good movie.
Well, it's prime Pacino.
Yeah.
It's
it
like,
really is prime Pacino.
yeah. I mean, it's... Cause
Devil's advocate is my answer to that.
well,
No, this is him being better than that.
There's no such thing.
I will not...
He was
No.
He was so in that fucking role. Like, not that he wasn't in Devil's Advocate, because I love that fucking movie
This
too.
10-year era of Pacino is Pacino doing Pacino the most Pacino.
Oh yeah. Antonio,
Yeah,
did you know
Pacino
that Puerto Ricans make
At
the
one
best
point
infantry
realized
soldiers?
that he was a caricature of himself.
That was actually because it's actually a tradition of my brothers to watch that movie. I think on or around Thanksgiving.
How odd,
Sense of a
but
Woman?
okay.
Well, it's because it's got that army connection.
Yes, it
to
does, yeah.
So like when I watched that, I'm like, oh, if he does it, I'll do it this year. And so I watched that movie, and they did. And when he said that line that Puerto Ricans make the best infantry soldiers,
Right.
I'm like, is that right? Is that accurate?
Are these facts?
Is this a factual statement? So and I said it, and I was like, yeah, there's a lot of wisdom to that.
Yeah. Oh man, it's I can't go on this tangent because I just want to talk about Pacino all fucking day, but I can't.
Maybe we should have an episode of that too.
Just Pacino.
We'll put it up, we'll put
We
it on
do
the
John
schedule.
Candy, and then we do Al Pacino.
Oh, it's just gonna. That's the topic. We just
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
it.
This,
Like, 'cause
this actor.
both of them should be talked about. Well, John Candy more so, but
Wow,
I'm sorry. I like John Candy better than I like Al Pacino. Sorry.
that's fine.
I mean, that's
He's
fine.
a- I'm just saying the better actor first.
Your sentences are just ending so abruptly in this podcast.
Yeah,
It's
because-
throwing me off.
Well-
I'm used to your cadence, but it's like it's all over the map in this one.
When I'm astute with my thought, I am.
When I'm astute with my thought, period.
All right, guys, it's Thanksgiving, so we might as well give ourselves a little bit of a day off. We'll cut this one a little.
Oh, I didn't bring up Hector Guerrero.
What?
Oh,
We don't have
no.
time for yours. Actually, we would, but I don't want it.
Everybody, go back.
He's gonna bring up the gobbledygooker from the Survivor
gobbledygooker,
Series.
yes.
My God.
That's the thing we waited for, and we're very let down.
Cut it off.
This isn't a wrestling podcast.
Cut
And if
it
you were gonna
off.
mention
All
anything, if you're gonna mention anything from the Survivor Series, you wouldn't bring up the Undertaker debuting on the Survivor Series.
No,
Of course
no,
not.
it's
You
gonna be the
would-
gobbledygooker.
No, you
Don't
would
go
just
down
go
that road, Dan.
gobbledygooker.
Sorry.
Dan, don't
I
go
could
down
talk
that
about Undertaker all day, but it ain't gonna be Survivor Series.
Well, that's going to be a lonely road that you will only know. And here, producer Dan goes on his own.
I walk this lonely road, the only road
right,
that
so-
I have ever known.
Shut up. Okay, William Shatner.
That was Green Day, but all right.
Whatever, I don't care. Justin, would you like to give the audience a Thanksgiving closing thought?
If you're lucky enough to be able to spend time with either your family, your friends, or a mix of both, Feel thankful. Have a good time. Celebrate.
Moses, I shudder. Absolutely shudder to ask for your closing thoughts. But
I too am shuddering. And hey, there's food in front of you. Eat it all. Don't don't let your stomach say that that's too much.
Okay. Antonio.
Never let your loved one spend even a moment alone with this man, Moses, whoever he is. I've only met him tonight, and it's deplorable.
I'm gonna bang him. I'm gonna bang an Antonio.
He sits across from me, and I shudder in fear at the notion that maybe one day I will wake up and see his dark black eyes looking upon me.
They're a
I
doll's
can
eyes.
only hope
They're a
that
doll's
you and your
eyes.
families are safe out there. And Dan, thank you so much for having me, but I truly regret these moments that I've spent with you purely because of this dark madman who sits to your left. I shudder to think of what he might wrought
Oh, I just learned
both
that from
of our
right.
families.
Well, if you haven't regretted this moment with Moses, be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. Check us out on YouTube and Rumble. Make sure you like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell. Follow us on social media. We are at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and if you want to be spied on by the Chinese Communist Party, TikTok. If you enjoyed this podcast, then become a Loud and Drunk supporter at loudanddrunk.locals.com and patreon.com/loudanddrunk.
Hey, Antonio, let me see that mouth.
Protect yourselves, people.
Do you
He
really
is
have
dangerous.
to interrupt my closing with your suggestive nonsense? So, for Justin, Moses, and Antonio, I am Dan. Happy Thanksgiving, and until next time, gobble gobble, motherfuckers.